He's a hustler, unbreakable, a people's person, and a future billionaire. This is The Hustler's Corner with Sbu Liope, well known to you and I as DJ Sbu.
Hello everyone, this is DJ Sbu, straight out of Johannesburg in South Africa, and this is another exciting episode of The Hustler's Corner. Now I'd like for you to like, share, subscribe to this page, because this page, we don't make any money out of it. I don't want you to donate anything. I'm fine. I just created this platform so I can empower you through the stories that you hear from some of my friends that get to hang out with me here. Now remember, a lot of the people that I'm gonna bring here, it's either people I've worked with. If I haven't worked with a person, I will say that I'm meeting them for the first time. But you'll realize that most of my guests is people who are my friends. Now when I talk about a friend whom I'm really, really proud of, it's somebody I've known from when I was, before I was a millionaire, before I was even famous. Like I was literally starting out. She'll tell you the story. I don't know who's gonna tell the story. Her name is Miss Nthabiseng Ramaboa. I'm gonna give her the privilege of introducing herself, but she's an entrepreneur, she's a foodie, she's a globetrotter, she travels the world. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome entrepreneur extraordinaire, travels the world, based in South Africa, in Johannesburg, got her own business. She owns a whole lot of other things. She's been in the fashion industry. Some of you guys who know her work might probably be surprised that she's not only a foodie. I've seen her start companies from scratch. I've seen her build clothing businesses. I've seen her have multiple stores all across Johannesburg, Melrose, Arch, Melville. And I've seen her open up a cleaning business, doing some work with the government. And for me to see her become the person she's become right now as a foodie and as somebody who's trusted by big brands all across the Southern Africa, and she works with all sorts of different people in the food space, I can't help it but be proud of this sister. Nthabiseng Ramaboa, welcome to the Hustler's Corner.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Should I start with placing an order first? Because I'm so
Konje, you're a foodie. Sure.
Yeah, food first.
Let the lady order.
Right, thank you. Well, what am I having? Your Caesar salad and that mushroom pasta. Thank you. And with freshly chopped chili, please. Thanks.
So do you go to places already knowing what you want to eat?
That's how I do actually. When I go to a place, I'll go there because I love their pasta, and I have another place where I go for the steak, or another place where I go for something else. But this is my first time here. I already had a chance to just go through the menu quickly. So the first thing I do when I go to a place, very quickly, they have. Yeah. So I was very excited to see that they've got nice vegetarian options. I am not vegetarian. I do, however, listen to my body, and right now my body's been asking for a lot more.
But it's just great to have people like yourself as a foodie. Welcome. Now, for those who don't know you, yes. who is Nti? I mean, I know you've created a brand, Chef Nti.
Chef Nti, yes.
And we'll talk about how you started that brand, because now I'm obviously Sbu.
Yeah.
But I created the brand DJ Sbu.
Yeah.
So you'd be Nthabiseng created the brand Chef Nti.
Yes. So my names are Nthabiseng Nti Ramaboa.
Okay.
Yeah, so at home I was named Nti. I'm named after my great-grand aunt. I do not have the name on my official documentation.
Okay.
So as a result, people assume that it's a nickname or something, an alias, but it is my name. I do go professionally by the name Chef Nti. So when I decided to shift careers, I've always been known as Nthabiseng Soweto, from a family of 3. I'm the middle child. Born and raised, went to school until high school in Soweto. I then did tertiary, obviously, in the city.
Marungana Kokasi, obviously.
Through. And if we are Kokasi, Soweto, people don't know Nthabiseng.
Yeah.
People know Nti.
Okay, Nti.
Yeah,
Kilibitola
Kokasi. My mom has only called me that. So people that I love call me Nti.
Yeah.
And it's very dear. It's to my heart. And I love the fact that when I decided to change careers and rebrand myself, because I was in the fashion business, as you know, and I had developed a name for myself and people had respected my craft, but knowing me as Nti. So when I needed to shift careers, I wanted to make sure that I present myself as who I am authentically.
As a chef, right?
As a chef, but I wanted to go back to basics.
Okay, no, I understand. The Nti part.
Yeah.
Like
so
the ordinary girl next door. Soweto girl.
There you go.
Girl from the hood type of. So you didn't want to sort of glamorize the name.
No.
I understand.
Yeah. So.
But then again, being a person of glamour, you're bound to live that life anyways.
There you go.
But then your roots are entrenched in the actual brand. Okay, I get it.
And I feel I've made a lot of people proud because
I'm one of them. You've made me proud.
Thank you. Because coming from Soweto, you know, we need a lot of people to look up to. And Nti is a name that literally, I mean, my high school teachers, when I started school, like literally everyone knows. So just for them to see Chef Nti thrive the way she's doing, it feels like something of their own. So that makes me really happy.
I get you.
Yum, yum.
Yeah, man. It's food time. You know,
Thank you.
I never shared this story, by the way, publicly. Let me share it right now.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that I met you when I was still, I don't like calling myself an intern because I have not really become an official intern at YFM, but I became an imposed intern who imposed himself onto the station, you know? Do you know how forced that look at, you know? And at the time, thank you, bro. At the time, I remember you had won a prize. You'll probably tell the story. And I went to the reception area, and that's when I met you. You also thought I was working at YFM already at the time. But I was assuming I'm already working there. Because nobody's saying, hey, you don't work here, leave. I'm like, okay. And I keep on pushing the envelope. You know when a child is being naughty in the house, and they'll keep pushing the envelope. And if you don't also they'll keep on becoming worse and worse. That's how I eventually, I basically employed myself at YFM.
Good for you, because I think there's a lesson to learn there, because a lot of people are waiting for opportunities. A lot of people are waiting for permission. That's one of the things that I'm actually learning as I look back at my career, that the only thing I've done different was I never waited for anyone's permission. I went ahead and did it. So even when I go YFM, you being there, pushing the envelope, it's because you knew this is where you belong, this is what you want, this is where you're gonna add value, and you didn't wait for them. You showed, and they received you.
And what's interesting was we were all young. I think at the time I was like either 21 or 20. And you were also like literally, but you were already driving.
Yes.
And I was like, who's
like the same
woman? Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, one guys, you know? And you already had your own Polo Playa at the time.
Red with tinted windows. I mean, I was the coolest kid around.
You were so cool. I was like, yo, I'm gonna know the type of thing, you know?
I
was like, I gotta have a number.
And look at us today. How many years later?
Yeah. But I mean, I want you to tell the story of you, because at the time I remember when you introduced yourself to me, you were such and such, and you work at MTN as a such and such.
Yes.
But from then to become what you are today.
Yeah, so my story starts this way. Grew up in Soweto. My mom was a single mom until when I was maybe 20, 21, she remarried, but she was on her own and she did her best, because it didn't stop me. The fact that there was no money for me to go to school didn't stop me from going to school. I went. Obviously uncles gave me something for registration, enrolled. I was fortunate. I entered Miss Technicon SA and I was crowned Miss Technicon SA within the first 3 months.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're already hustling.
So when the price was an email address, oh my gosh, my first email address, it was a big deal. I didn't even know. Yeah. So I went to the dean's office and said to them, instead of you giving me all the other prices, how about you give me an opportunity to work? Because I need to work my way through school. I need to pay for my fees. And that's how it all started, 3 months into it. And I'm saying this because a lot of people are sitting and waiting and looking at their reality in inverted commas. Whereas you find that the world opens up to you when you take a step of faith, like you did with YFM. You were working, no sabeta, whether or not they had hired you, but you're already working. So I went to school, whether or not I had money for school, but I knew something will have to give. And then I was 16 and a half, by the way. So 16 and a half, crowned Miss Technicon SA, working for the Dean's office.
Wow. So you started early.
I started early.
You see, guys, I always say to you, starting early is very important. Start early.
Yeah. I started early. I remember, my life was completely different from my peers at the time. They had time to go clubbing. They had time to do all sorts of things. I could not, because for as long as I could remember, I could never do just one thing. I was working and I was studying. It was painful. It was torture. I remember when I was at work, I would literally lunchtime go into the car and sleep, take a nap, or one of the colleagues' car, take a nap, because I was that exhausted. When you are that young, your body's not even used to pushing and doing so much. But I'm grateful for that start, because it has helped me be the woman that I am today. Today, I can move so much faster according to how people look at my career. Like when you watch and you're thinking, oh, she's moving so much faster. But I'm already trained to not do just the one thing. I know to do this and do that and do that at the same time, and make sure that all three are given all my 100%.
Because I remember the cleaning business, when you're doing a lot of work with the government at the time, it wasn't just cleaning.
No.
I would see you delegating other responsibilities. And at the time, I think I was also in the entertainment space and we were friends. And I think I always loved our relationship as friends, because we always inspired each other. And I'd always joke around and say, Nthabiseng, you're actually the male version, you're a female version of me.
It's true.
And I don't know if you started the joke.
I think I did.
You're the male version of me. You're
I
such a hustler. How do you do that? How do you delegate? And what were some of the things that you did in that business? I know it was not your first business. We will move on to what your first business was, but let's talk about the cleaning business and doing work with the government, because I do know there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there also who do work with the government back home,
So I was running a company called Era Clean, and we're doing work for government. It had two divisions: work for government, and then there was the commercial division, where we would work with real estates and do move out services, cleaning services. The cleaning business, the opportunity I actually came across, not just minding my own business, going about meetings for another business. Because remember, I'd consulted with the Reputation Institute for the ANC then at the time. So when you're in corridors, then you hear there's tenders coming out. Government is looking for 9 service providers to clean all the buildings in the precinct. And I thought, 9, a whole 9, one must be me. If they're taking 9, I'll take it. So I then did everything that was required. Paperwork and all the necessary stuff, got the opportunity. So the business started with government as my core client. But then, because as you know, service providers working with government, that is a very sore thing. For me, that was the most difficult, because they don't pay you on time, and cash flow is key. So that's
especially as a small business.
As a small business,
cash flow
is key, and you can't afford to go not even a month without being paid. And government will take you 3, 4, 5, 6 months even without being paid. So then that's when I decided to then have another division where we focus just on private sector. And then you manage the whole cash flow thing. I was not personally involved in the business. I had an MD that ran the business. My thing was just business development. I find that it's easy for me to go and knock on doors. Excuse me. And I think that's why also for you, because you've got the same thing.
The skill.
You can't be an entrepreneur. You can't think you will begin and start anything when you don't have the ability to take a no. Because people don't rejection. People don't knock on doors because they'll say no. So I'll go in thinking, okay, so I target 10. From the 10, at least 2 will say yes. Or hopefully 2 will say yes. So, but my thing was I was never operational.
So the inspiration from doing work with government, or was it intentional to say, you know what, I'm sick and tired of doing work with government, of tendering or whatever, I'm going to go and do other things? Or did it just happen on its own, or what happened?
I got tired.
Transition.
The transition for me was mainly because working with government in South Africa, especially, this is a very male-dominant space. It's a boys' world. Personally,
I guess the whole world is like that, right? Patriarchy, right?
So,
I'm glad the conversation is everywhere now.
So that was the one thing. But then also with government, your business was based on relationships. So when there's new government coming in, then what it means is most of the old service providers will then have to be let go of, because then you belong to the group that's gone, and then they'll start over.
Bureaucracy, right?
Bureaucracy. So I just didn't like that.
I guess governments are like that everywhere.
Yeah. So for me, I didn't like that environment. I didn't like the idea of having my future in someone's hands.
I get you.
So that's why I thought, no, this is definitely not my space, because I don't want to navigate relationships at the level that you need to with government. And that's when the fashion business was given birth.
But I always thought the fashion business came first.
So, yes, you are right, actually.
I thought that was your first business.
You are actually right. The fashion business came first. However, the cleaning, it was actually a facilities management, because we did also general maintenance and all the other facilities management services. So that came after cleaning. However, it funded the growth.
Yes.
Because with the cleaning, I had my offices in Parkhurst, the fashion district in Parkhurst, 6th Street, and I was there doing just marketing and communications and cleaning. But the area where I was, there were so many like fashion labels. If you remember, David Tlale was there at the time, Julian was there at the time, and I was already doing fashion, but I was doing it at home. I had turned one of my bedrooms, because like I said, for me, I've never done one thing. So at any given point, I don't remember to date, I don't do one thing. So I had my fashion business at home. And it was very bespoke, because I had private clients that I would do personal shopping for, etc. So they didn't need to come in. So when I went to Parkhurst, and I was right in the middle of the fashion district, and I thought, no man, rather move that business and consolidate everything under one roof.
Okay, no, I get you.
Yeah, so the back house became a studio now.
Okay. Yes. So you sort of improvised, and you use the little resources you had to grow your offering into the marketplace, because you saw other opportunities that you wanted to take advantage of.
Absolutely.
But now also, I know we're touching on everything. We talk about a lot of things. We're going all over the show. But at some point, you were an executive at South African Airways.
Yes.
And I think you were heading up their corporate social investment department.
Correct.
Because a lot of people always ask me questions around. Excuse me, thanks, bro.
Yes.
A lot of people always ask me questions around, Sbu, how do I know when to leave corporate and jump onto starting my own business? When did you know when to leave SAA and go at it on your own?
So I was at SAA for a good 3 years, and halfway into it, I started my own business. So it took me a year and a half of doing two things. I remember that time I would sleep on average for 3 hours every day, because when you come to my office in SAA, I have 2 laptops on the desk. I'm running an office. I already have a team, and I'm also running a department here in SAA.
Also, so you're simultaneously being a corporate hustler, but at the same time, you were a hustler externally as an entrepreneur.
Externally.
But did you divulge at work? Did you declare?
To be honest, I did not declare. So
she didn't declare. Sorry to disturb you. I'll come in there. Like, for my entrepreneurs out there, guys, integrity is really important. As much as we're hustling and we're teaching all these tactics, a lot of the time it's important to be a person of integrity, because you're gonna find yourself in some corner where you've entangled yourself. I'm headphones. It's because you've done that to yourself. So it's always rather better to be honest, especially if you've got a great relationship with your bosses.
Definitely.
Or maybe if you're a professional at your workplace and you're being promoted to a new division, or you've just been employed in a company, to declare if you do think maybe those things might hinder you in the future. So she didn't declare. So what I want to know is, how did she get away with it?
So I did not declare. But the thing with me is that, remember, from 16 and a half, I was already doing 2 things and doing 2 things well. So I learned very early that people buy into people. So my thing was, whatever it is that I do, I'm going to do so well. So when I say I would literally sleep on average 3 hours a day, no lies, because I would make sure that whatever it is that I was doing at SAA, they are paying me to do this. There's a need for someone to fill the position that I'm doing. So I'm giving my 120, not even, I don't end where my scope of work ends. I'll go even beyond. So I think the solution is, if you don't do it my way. But then if you are doing it, you want to make sure that whatever it is that you're doing, you're giving it your all. You know, the downside is you won't have life. You won't have a life.
But I think that's
okay.
I think that's a negative way of putting it. I think we've got our own. I think you do have life, and life is in your work because your work makes you happy, right?
It is true, but as you see, life as it's loosely defined. You know, you won't have
an ordinary life.
You won't have
because I don't have an ordinary life. You don't. And I guess that's what we sign up for when we choose to become entrepreneurs.
Absolutely, you won't have the luxury to go and sit and have cocktails on a Saturday afternoon with the girls because Saturday now I'm at my business. You won't have the luxury to go and maybe have Sunday lunch with family because that used to be the thing for me. But you know, you just have to self-discipline. And I think the biggest thing, I'm still working on that even now. The biggest thing is work on this project, self-manage, self-discipline, go into your week knowing exactly how you are spending your time in that week. Go into your day knowing exactly how you're spending your time in that day. And that's the only way you're going to win. Now, so I juggled, but I did it really well.
You did it really well. That's beautiful. Now I'm going to come into, you called me and you asked me for a meeting. At the time, I think we're doing really well in the music industry. I had an artist by the name of Zahara.
Yes.
I was still in the music industry fully 100%. Churning out hits and platinum records and big artists, etc. And you asked me for a meeting and we met at Maslow Hotel. I think it was in Sandton in Johannesburg.
Yes, we did.
And then you said, Sbu, let's have a conversation because now I'm moving into a new realm.
Yeah.
I want to move and change businesses.
Yeah.
I want to get into the food and restaurants and the FMCG space.
Yeah.
How do I start a brand?
Yeah.
How do I, those type of things, and maybe you can share with the audiences as well around what was your mindset at the time? Because when you came to me, you told me about what you had already decided. You knew what you wanted to become. You already had the vision, but you're like, Sbu, you're somebody who's a friend, but you have branded yourself well over the years and you've helped other people become brands. Give me advice on how do I brand myself? How do I maneuver this social media thing? All the way to right now where I think you manage social media way better than I do. Take us from then, your mindset, all the way to the person that you've become. Because guys, it's actually not even long ago, hey? This is, I'm talking about 2.5 to 3 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago. But look at where she is now. She didn't even have one follower. She was not even on Instagram. But right now, Chef _Nti is like, I think you got over, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of followers.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so I mean that for me is actually the highlight of my life.
Chef said you call you this dish after your DJ Sbu's chicken.
Thank you. My next guest point, eh? Oh, are you calling it the DJ Sbu's chicken? Oh, okay. That's humbling. Thank you. It's not even my birthday.
Influencer. So for me,
entrepreneur.
So for me, entrepreneur, but very influential.
But isn't it that as entrepreneurs, you gotta be an influencer anyway?
Absolutely, because you can't lead. You lead from the front.
Yes, because you're influencing people.
Yeah,
you're getting people to buy into your vision. Yes.
Yeah.
So you have to influence.
Yeah. Because as an entrepreneur, you're basically saying to people, guys, here's an idea. I think it's going to work. I believe in it so much.
I didn't live in grace. What is Tandazan?
Okay. Father God, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for a gathering of the king and queens. Thank you for this amazing show. Thank you for this beautiful content that we're sharing. Thank you for, oh God, a blessing. Someone is going to be blessed from this beautiful, beautiful platform. And thank you for the meal we're about to receive. We will receive nourishment in our bodies. We thank you, Lord, for our loved ones are also taken care of in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Bon appetit.
Appetit.
Sorry, I disturbed you. You're still telling me.
Oh yeah, so that time life was tough because here's a girl now who's worked her entire life to move herself from where she was. I mean, I grew up in the township. I'm not from money. Everything I owned, I literally had to work hard for. And now I'm finding myself in a place.
And you own some great things.
I did.
You had a couple of Porsches. You were living the life. You were traveling the world. Guys, the art that she got me into. And we didn't even speak about her art gallery. At some point, she was a curator and she ventured into art.
I'm going to touch into it actually. So I business works out and sometimes it doesn't. So in my case, I was finding myself in a place where I had to be honest with myself. The facilities or cleaning business wasn't working because now new people in power, work new relationships. I didn't want to do that. And I also didn't have a passion for that. My fashion business, the market was already shifting in South Africa because when I started, we didn't have the likes of Zara. So Zara, I mean, you know, in terms of price point, they came in and disrupted slightly in the industry. So anyway, I'm finding myself in a place where now I have to start over. Everything else is not working.
And this is somebody who had how many stores in Johannesburg?
I had 3 stores.
And these are boutique stores. She sells luxury clothing, eh?
My premium, my flagship store was in Melrose Arch. Melrose Arch is more like Rodeo Drive.
Yeah.
Rodeo, and I was very, very excited about, you know, just being the first black tenant. 2009, by the way, not too long ago, to be in such a premium spot. And to open up, I think I had to cough out close to $200,000.
Yeah, that's about 3 million rands, yeah.
And banks at the time did not fund, like there was
fashion,
no
alcohol,
nothing,
beverages, bank. There's just certain entertainment businesses that the banks don't fund,
So you had to cough out of your pocket.
This is in South Africa, guys.
So this was just the one boutique. Now I'm closing everything else. If you remember, I started from what my mom gave me. What's 800 rands in dollars? That's probably
$50.
Like $50.
$60.
$60. That's what I had. Now I'm losing everything that I've worked for. So I thought I have good friends. You know, the only thing that I've always valued more than anything is relationships. And the one thing I loved about our relationship is that, you know, I've seen you grow. I've seen you go through so many, and just the genius of being able to move from one industry. This is now from being a DJ, known all over the continent and doing so well, hit music, a record label with just the best artists, to now moving and going into the corporate space. And in the continent, that's not done. So for me, I just marveled at how easy you made it look, just the whole transition. And I thought, okay, because I was concerned that people would think, you look this way, chef, you can cook, we don't know. So I wanted to make sure that I have my foundation right, and just make sure, because you see but you don't see. What we could look at this, but both of us will see different things. So I sat down with you, perception. I sat down with you, shared my plans, and I remember you said to me right there, bring your phone. Okay, let's open social media. Tell them you want to be a chef. Let's go there. Right, Chef Nti already on my account. And I was like, no, but I'm not even a chef.
Because we're talking about branding.
Yeah, we're talking about branding, and you were saying to me, you know, leave it, because if you do that, then this is going to force you to be that person. Yeah,
because I was saying the same thing. One of my friends, Lungi Naidu. You can follow her, Lungi_Naidu. I'm like, you're a musician. You're not a slay queen. You're not an influencer. You're not none of those. Yes, you might be influential and whatever, but you are a musician. People want to see you posting your music, posting your sessions in studio with other musicians, performing on shows, telling them about your albums. You know, you are a musician. So sometimes when it comes to branding, we sort of miss it.
So for me, from what I took away from my discussion there was, be that person. And it was very easy. It was easy for me in that I always cooked. I've always cooked. I mean, from as long as I could remember, I've always been just so obsessed with food. So I thought, okay, so then I'm going to share that part of my life, because I wouldn't. I just shared Nti, the entrepreneur. And then the next thing that I did was to make sure that I have the right foundation. 2014, I took my dog and we relocated to LA. My cute little dog, Rocky, was my best friend for just under a year. We're in LA. The plan for LA was, one, to see how where the world is when it comes to food entertainment. South Africa at the time was still growing. There was no industry for anyone in the food space. I mean, at the time, there were 1 or 2 people doing it, especially black people, but it was predominantly white. But it wasn't more as entertainment. It wasn't food entertainment.
It wasn't lifestyle.
It wasn't lifestyle. So went to LA, spent time there, because in any case, if you want to see where the world is going, go to LA, the direction in any industry. Went to LA, did a little short course, something with Gordon Ramsay. The plan was to start over there. But then I thought, okay, if you're going to start over here, then you're going to have to work, because this is already an established industry with already established personalities. So took everything that I learned from there, came back to SA. This was 2015. Sold everything. So if you may ask, how are you closing businesses and losing everything, yet you can afford to start over in LA? So how I managed to find my lifestyle in LA was through art. I would sell South African contemporary art in LA. I collaborated with different art galleries. I was part of the LA Arts Association. So I would just, and you know, in LA, they're so progressive. Everything that is out of Africa is so appreciated. So that helped me, because I could sell art and then pay my bills. But to start, just my base was from money that I made from my house, because I had a property that accumulated value, so sold that and then started over. But I sold art. Sold art, and that took care of me when I was in LA. But LA didn't work out, so I came back to SA now to go full time into culinary school training as a chef. So I was in class all of 2015 full time. The most humbling experience, because then I had to sell cars, I had to sell homes. At one point I was leaving Airbnb because this is what you can afford, and obviously with the credit system, if business doesn't work out, then
let me come in there and disturb you. Sorry to disturb you. This comes from somebody who's got an image of being looked at as successful and millionaire, and you're driving Porsches, all these Mercedes, beautiful cars that you're driving. You've got all these businesses. How did you have to mentally adjust from being seen that way and being able to humble yourself and be at peace with what you were going through and the process you were going through? Were you okay? Or at some point it would get to you where you're like, now people are not seeing me in Porsches, I've downgraded. I know it's for my own good, but people don't know that, and externally people are seeing me this way. Reason why I'm asking you that question, because I know how it feels like. I'm from there. I share about it on both these books, actually.
So I think that the most important thing, especially when you're going through a journey like that, is you need to have a better relationship with yourself. This is when you need to know self better than the next person. So I knew for me that everything else, like success, is something that I carry inside. And I knew.
So you know you're going to be successful anyways.
I knew anyway. So I just knew that it was just a matter of time.
Okay.
So I knew that I was starting over, but I did it when I was 16 and a half. And then I knew nothing, and then I had no relationships. So this time I wasn't even concerned, because I have learned so many. Because remember, if you do something and it doesn't work out, you haven't lost. You've actually gained so much.
Excuse me? Yeah. Say that again. If you do something, sorry, maybe the gate was open.
Let's have
I'm not sure if they
that's the gate. There, it's closing.
If you do something.
So remember, if you're working on a project, you start a business and it doesn't work out, it doesn't mean you failed. You've just accumulated so much knowledge that you never had before. So you have so many other ways not to explore. It's like being in a lab and you're testing product. If it's not working, okay, 99 times, so this is the direction I'm not going. So I was just excited, because I thought, oh my gosh, if I could do it at that age, no relationships. I mean, I didn't have no people. I didn't build no name for myself. Just straight from the township in Soweto, start over and get myself to a place where I'm recognized professionally. I can do it all over again. I just need to obviously do it right. And hence I went to culinary school, and also going to LA to do my research, because it's this time I wanted to make sure when I do it, I do it.
And I think you're doing it right. Guys, go to Chef_Nti. You'll see it on the screen. It's at the bottom of the screen. Just check out the amazing work that she does, because she's not only a foodie and an entrepreneur owning her own, what do you guys call your establishment?
A restaurant, Taste Kitchen. I have a restaurant in Maboneng, in the heart of
Johannesburg.
So
if you come to Johannesburg, this is from anyone, whether you're in Europe, in America, in the north of the African continent. When you do come to Johannesburg.
Yes. Taste Kitchen by Chef Nti. It's in Maboneng, Fox Street. come and experience South African food like you've never before. So this is where we tell a story about who we are as a people using food. I mean, I know that with every guest, especially South Africans, they come in and they walk out feeling so proud, because food is identity. Feeling so proud that someone is telling their story, because no one does it for us. If you look at South Africa specifically, when I travel, people ask me, what is South African cuisine? Because we're such a very diverse country. You know, we've got everything here. And when you look at formal establishments, when it comes to restaurants, it's always been people representing their story. So you'll find an Italian place because this is an Italian guy who's passionate about their food and where they come from. You find curries because this is, you know, an Indian family, but no one did it so well for us. You know, to find African food, we would have to go to some dingy spot. So we took that away from those shady spots and brought it to a place where people can be proud of, because no one tells our story. And that's another thing that I actually learned when I was in LA, that do it from your point of truth. I cannot be a chef selling you Italian food. You won't believe me. You know, I do Afrofusion, so I will go and fuse, because I lived in Italy for 2 years. I'll touch on that as well. So I'll go and fuse Mediterranean cuisine, maybe their technique. For instance, I like to do that. We have a grain called maize meal here that is similar to Italian polenta, and Italians are so proud of this grain. They do so many things. They'll give you chips, they'll give you all sorts of things, whereas for us, we needed a mind shift. You know, it was something that you ate because you are poor, or, you know. So I love to just celebrate our culinary heritage with food. So come to Maboneng. When you are in South Africa, you are going to be blown away. You're going to experience South African food like you've never before.
What's nice about Maboneng is that my business has just purchased a building there, and we've just opened up our own environments as well. So when you do come to Maboneng and you come to, what is yours called?
Taste Kitchen.
Taste Kitchen. You'll also get a chance to visit Massive Metro, which is our content creation hub in Johannesburg. We also have Massive Lounge there, where people can come and have fun and just dance around when DJs are playing music.
Nice.
And we obviously run our media business upstairs on the other floors.
And Maboneng is the cultural hub of the continent, by the way.
I wanted to say that.
Oh, were you? Okay.
Yeah. It's so true.
Yeah.
And I love what has happened to Maboneng.
Yeah.
Yes, I do know there's a bit of glitches around the people that had the idea to create Maboneng.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there were money issues or whatever with them, which gave people like us as entrepreneurs opportunities to say, now we want, you know what I mean? Like they're selling off, so let's go buy. So we had to purchase a building. And I love what's going on in what South African entrepreneurs are doing in expressing themselves using their talents. There's sculptors there, there's fashion designers there, there's musicians there, there's dancers there, there's poets there, there's curation artists, there's artists there, there's DJs, clubs, there's lounges, restaurants. It's an amazing place.
There's hotels
Place. Hotels even, you know what I mean?
Just stay there.
Where is Nti going? What is your vision?
So my vision, right now I'm sitting at a place where, for the first time, this is until 3 months ago, I'm debt free, because
Wow, you what?
Debt free.
Did you guys hear that? She is debt free.
Yeah, so
means she owes nothing
to nobody. So not only did I transition, but I also managed to clear out my debt, because I was sitting at probably just over 250 million owed, because obviously when business doesn't go well, there's debts and all of that. So in the last few years, I worked and focused on paying off debt. I worked and focused on just establishing myself as an entrepreneur and establishing myself especially as a chef. But why did I do that? Because also you learn you can't do anything on your own. You know, you can't do anything on your own. And this is important, especially for Black people. Your credit score is important, because you could do so much more. You could move so much faster with support from banks, financial institutes, and all of that stuff. So what's next for me is to take this a level different. Like, I want to do and go to places where Black entrepreneurs, especially in the food space, have never been. So I want to do things that will make people turn, stop, look, jaw drop, people ask why, how, just so I can show to that kid it's possible.
Nti,
Yeah,
like in
to
Soweto.
Nti, go Soweto, babes, it's possible. You can start with nothing. You can start with $50 and literally make your way up. One of the lessons for me is be responsible financially. When you don't come from money, you don't have the culture of having a healthy relationship with money. So with that journey, that's what I've learned, because you need support where you can get it.
Her name is
Yeah.
Chef Nti. Her real name is Nthabiseng Ramaboa, an entrepreneur, a globetrotter, a foodie. She loves food.
Yes.
She's created a business around her passion.
Yeah.
She's created other businesses before, fashion business, been in the media business, been in the cleaning business. And right now she's a full-on adult who loves what she does. She's passionate about it, travels the world, passionate about art, passionate about the finer things in life, knows the finer things in life, but chooses to be smart about how she spends her money. Been through a lot, lost a lot of things, had to downgrade, humble herself and start again and build herself up. I'm a witness to say when she came to me and she had no social media, she wanted to build herself as a chef and build a brand around that. I was there in the beginning.
Yeah.
And watching what she's been able to build right now and completely settle off all of her debt from her previous life to become debt free, where she's just basically even just bought herself a brand new luxury, amazing SUV. And she's just, oh man, I can mention all the other material things that she's gaining, but our show is not really about promoting materialistic things. It's about promoting wisdom so that you can learn and become a better person. Follow her on her social media platforms, be inspired by her. When you do come to Johannesburg, go visit her spot. If you are based in South Africa and you're a young person, you want to be mentored by her, follow her, DM her. She can't mentor everybody at the same time, but just by following her on social media, automatically people like her do inspire and teach younger people. Don't expect all of you guys to meet her, but that's been my sister. I hope you guys learned something from this interview today. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, that's Nthabiseng, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that was dope. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was a great convo.
Hi, my name is Chef Nti, and I've just been hustled by DJ Sbu from the Hustlers Corner.